Hey guys, so 2020 has definitely been one of those crazy years. In addition to the ongoing pandemic that is still going on that has canceled all of my travel, changed all of my plans, also made me experience a few personal life changes. I also managed to get rid of 3 cars this year. If you guys remember, the Tesla Model 3, I sold that back in March of this year. The Porsche Cayman GTS, also sold that back in June of this year. And the Subaru Outback that I also had, I also sold that back in August, which that one I quietly sold because it technically belongs to somebody else that I was just mostly co-signed on. Now, obviously, to replace all 3 of those vehicles, I needed something, and it's why I'm at this dealership right now, and the car I'm picking up today, you guys have been asking me what it is. Well, it is parked over there. Can you guess what it is? Okay, let's just go take a look at it. Alright, so I know what you guys are probably thinking. I have a tendency to be really hard on Toyotas, but here I am. I actually bought a Toyota, and there it is. It's a 2021 Rav4 Prime. It's basically the same one that I tested when I had one as a loaner. In the same supersonic red color with the black roof. I added a few accessories to it as well. It's got the black emblem package, it's got the clear off protection, paint protection film, which completely covers the front end, and I also added the roof rail crossbars. Wow, it looks really good in person. I mean, I really liked this car when I first tested it back in July of this year. I'm actually really happy. This is my first ever SUV and my first ever brand new Toyota product. And of course, I would also give a quick shout out to Koons Toyota here in Annapolis, Maryland, and to Mikey Harris, my sales guy, for hooking me up with this really cool Rav4 Prime. I'm super excited to actually take delivery of this car and have it and just drive it and see what kind of range it gets, what kind of fuel efficiency it gets, and show you guys, of course, what it's like to own one of these. So here it is, guys, right behind me, my brand new 2021 Toyota Rav4 Prime. Obviously, I've brought it home after that 90-mile trek back from Annapolis, Maryland, and the car itself, I've had it for a couple days. I want to go over really quickly some of my initial thoughts on it and show you guys, once again, some of the extras that I got in this thing to make it look a little bit more unique. I'm also planning to add a couple of extra things, but let's do a quick little walk around on it. And as you can see, I decided to go with the supersonic red exterior color with the black painted roof. This, as you guys know, is the XSE trim. It's also the XSE trim with the premium package and the upgraded audio and navigation package. So that's like an extra $5,400, something like that. It's apparently kind of hard to get the Rav4 Primes with the fully loaded extras like the premium package. You can see all of them come with these LED headlights, although I'm pretty sad to see that Toyota went with an incandescent design for the turn signals. The XSE models are the only ones to get that little extra LED light strip. The SE models do not have that. And I also really like how Toyota differentiated the Prime with its own unique grille. You also have some gloss black accents and this silver trim piece here along the front fascia, and then of course you get the blue Toyota badge there at the front. This supersonic red color very much reminds me of Mazda's Soul Red Crystal. I think it's a beautiful addition, and this color is unique to the Rav4 Prime. The other Rav4s do not offer the supersonic red pearl exterior color just yet. Now you can see here, these are the roof rail crossbars that are an accessory from Toyota. They're like $345 extra. I will say that these bars create a little bit more extra wind noise than I would like, so I may have to experiment with taking these off and seeing how much quieter it is. You can see the panorama roof is also included when you guys go for the premium package that mine has, which is really nice. I really love this color contrast. This Rav4 in general just looks a lot more youthful than other Rav4 hybrid models, or even the rest of the Rav4 models. You can see this is the only model to also get 19-inch wheels on a Rav4. They're wrapped in 235 wood tires. I don't love the Yokohama Avid GT tires that they put on this thing. I would probably want to swap them out with Michelin's at some point. Also, I just noticed that Toyota puts a red colored strut bar or a strut on this thing. I'm not entirely sure why it's painted red. Maybe it's to show that they decided to give this thing a sportier suspension tune. You can also see the black emblem package. It's basically just an overlay over the chrome emblems. I don't really know if I like how it's black here. I would have preferred that this stayed actually chrome with the blue badge there that you get for the hybrid logo. You can see their LED turn signal mirrors. I also added the body side moldings and the door edge guards. So these are just really good for kind of protecting the car whenever you open the door and somebody slams it into somebody else's car, or these are really good for protecting the body if somebody decides to open their door into your vehicle. Now the charge port is over on the passenger side, I actually think that Toyota should have put it on the driver's side on the front of the vehicle. You can see it's just a standard J1772 plug. It's going to take around 12 hours to charge on a standard 120 volt, or mine because I have the premium package will take 2.5 hours when I decide to upgrade to a level 2, which is a 32 amp charger. Now at the back you can see Toyota also didn't put LED turn signals, but the rest of the taillight is LED except for the reverse light. That's just an incandescent. Thankfully there are LED tag light bulbs underneath there, and then you can see here with the rest of the black emblem package. I really like how this looks here as opposed to the chrome. You can see there's also an XSE badge. Down here Toyota still surprisingly puts a dual exhaust tip on the Primes. They're chrome tipped, which does make this thing look pretty nice. The black emblem package also includes a black emblem Toyota badge here with the blue on the inside. I think that actually looks good. It wasn't actually mimicked in the front of the car, which kind of surprised me. But overall, let me know what you guys think of the way this looks. I plan to actually have the front windows tinted. Not entirely sure what else I'm going to do to it at the moment. It's pretty much fully maxed out. I really like some of the accessories that I picked out for this car. Now, opening up the trunk area, I also got the rear bumper applique, which will help to protect the car from additional dings. I also have the paint protection film at the front. I have the rear cargo liner, and along with this little spider net and the rear cargo protector. The Prime has a little bit less cargo space, about 5 cubic feet less than the regular RAV4s because of the battery pack that lives underneath the floor. I want to actually go back to the front of the vehicle because I did forget to mention there's the paint protection film that covers the fender, the hood, the front bumper, and the side mirrors, which for like 800 bucks, Toyota does a really good job of doing it. And it's pretty affordable. You can see the front emblem isn't actually black paint, isn't black because this is actually, it hides the radar sensor for the Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 and the adaptive cruise control. And then you can also see there's a front camera because mine has the full 360 camera. But overall, I'm really liking this car. I never thought I would really like an SUV, but Toyota did such a good job with the Prime in making it feel a little bit different, a lot more special, that I'm going to be pretty happy with. It has a ton of space inside. 42 miles of electric only range, 0 to 60 in the mid 5s. It's honestly a really cool sleeper car that a lot of people should consider. Honestly, I think Toyota just needs to work on improving production because they're only building 5,000 for this launch year and next year as well. On the inside of the Prime, you can see Toyota only offers it with one interior color choice, which I would have preferred if they offered like a light gray or a white interior, but you can only just get this black leatherette Softex with the red stitching. The seats are unique to the XSE model that I bought, and I really like that, but Toyota, you really need to work on offering more colors, I think, just because a light color would have looked really good with the supersonic red exterior. And you can see the dash is pretty similar, of course, to any other RAV4. This is identical to the last Prime that Toyota sent me as a press car for a couple days. When I shut the door, it has a relatively solid sounding thunk, so it kind of disappoints me. But, you know, the RAV4's interior isn't what I would call luxurious, but it does have some pretty nice materials. There's some nice rubberized finish here on the door grab handles, some silver looking trim. The windows, you can see the front window is automatic one touch for both. Actually, all 4 windows are one touch, so I wasn't expecting that. That's a really nice addition. Surprisingly, Toyota doesn't put power folding mirrors. There's a spot here where they could have put a button. A lot of other options here for heated windshield, heated steering wheel, automatic headlights, padded area right here, of course, where your elbows would rest. The steering wheel also is nice and heated, but it's only heated on the actual bolsters. The top and the bottom portion of the wheel is not heated. It's a manual telescoping wheel with a good amount of adjustability. This is a really comfortable car, so it's pretty easy to see why so many people end up buying one of these. Because it's a really nice car. Now, with the premium package, you can see 10-inch head-up display. This is the only RAV4 model to include a head-up display. You can't get that on the regular hybrid. This is a soft touch injection molded plastic, some of that fake stitching with the red contrast stitching, and then you also have the 9-inch touchscreen Toyota infotainment system with Android Auto and CarPlay. You can see you can customize this home screen here when you put the car into reverse. Full 360 camera, although the resolution is not as good as the last Highlander that I tried with the bigger 12-inch display, so Toyota sadly put in the older resolution over there. And then you can see the seats. They look good. If only they were offered in a light color, but I do like the red contrasting stitching. They're comfortable and supported, heated and cooled as well. This is the only trim, of course, to get the power passenger seat. It's a 4-way because it's the premium package. My driver's seat is an 8-way, and it also includes 2-person memory there. This is the only one to get it again. Glove compartment, you can see pretty good size, and then lots of good storage over there. There's a little bit of a storage shelf over there. dual zone climate control, and then with the premium package, again, you also get this digital rear view mirror, which is really cool, really useful if you guys have a bunch of stuff in the actual back that's taking up space. And then panoramic roof, you can see the crossbars do cut in a little bit in your view, but overall, the one thing I am sad about, no LED lighting in the cabin, so I might be actually upgrading that to get rid of that cheap yellow incandescent bulb look.
So some of you may be wondering, Sofyan, why on earth would you get rid of your Porsche, your Tesla, and your Subaru and go to a RAV4? I mean, a RAV4 is basically like the Camry of crossovers, because it essentially is. It's owned by Toyota. And you know what? I had the Porsche and the Tesla for almost 2 years. I did some great content with them, but ultimately, electrification is the future, which is why I was thinking I was going to get another Tesla, but the Model Y was just too similar to the Model 3. I already drove it, I already filmed it. It's a great car, but it also doesn't qualify for the $7,500 tax credit anymore because Tesla has, you know, surpassed that threshold a couple of years ago. Now, I've had my eye on the Rav4 Prime for a while because I really liked the thought of a Toyota electrified hybrid vehicle that actually gave you decent range, 42 miles of range, decent acceleration, or not decent, quick acceleration when you have the gas engine and the electric motor working together. And when I drove this car back in July of this year, I came away really impressed. And of course, you guys know, in the industry that I'm in, I'm constantly wanting to change cars to show you guys, of course, new content. I'm always looking for new ways to create content. And when you own a car, it kind of gives you a different perspective versus when you just drive the car for a couple days or even a week. So having a luxury brand and then going to, of course, a mainstream brand like Toyota, that's something that I did mostly for you guys because it's something that I know people are going to want to see because that's the majority of my audience. You guys like to see cars that are within your price spectrum. Of course, the Prime is kind of reaching up there for a lot of people, but with the tax credit, this is a car that is actually going to be a little bit less expensive than a Toyota RAV4 hybrid, the regular hybrid model. Now, some of you may also be wondering what's happened to the Subaru Outback. Now, of course, let's jump back a little bit. There's a little bit of background history for that, so I want to kind of give you guys a quick little channel update. The truth of the matter is the Outback was owned by myself and my spouse, Blake, which you guys remember, he was in a couple of videos with the Jeep Gladiator, and I did a road trip video in the Tesla with him. He and I actually split up back in May of this year, so it's been a little over 6 months now. I'm doing fine, so I appreciate you guys leaving comments below, telling me I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing fine, but it's one of the reasons why the Outback is gone, because that car was owned by both of us, and in our separation, I let him take the car and completely just have it as his car. So that's the reason why I started thinking, all right, what can I have as mine to show you guys videos on, something that I thought was cool, something that was also practical, because I like the idea of having an SUV. Maybe it's just me getting older. Having an SUV just makes a lot of sense, or at least having something with more trunk space and back seat room just makes more sense. That's why a lot of people end up trading a Model 3 for a Model Y. It is so strange to me when I'm driving this Prime because my foot is to the floor right now and the gas engine is not coming on, which is the coolest thing about this car. I love how it's all electric like this. I think that's a really cool part. Now, granted, the RAV4 Prime could be faster if I turned on the electric motor, but you know what? I've had the car for about a week now, and I find myself just wanting to drive it in pure EV mode because it's just way cooler that way. I don't have to hear the noisy gas engine, and I don't always need the speed. When I'm just cruising around town, this is perfectly fine. But anyways, back to my little channel update that I was giving you guys. I'm actually also not living in Virginia anymore, or just outside the DC area. I have moved as of the end of November to Pennsylvania. I live about an hour north of Baltimore now, and it's a big change, but I had some friends up here and I decided to make a huge change and move up further north, and also into an area that's a little bit quieter, because this is perfect for me with filming with these crazy back roads that Pennsylvania offers, and I'm still kind of within an hour or two from the DC area, so it's really not that bad. But that's kind of just a quick little background story on what some of the changes are in my personal life. Obviously, videos are still going to be pumped out as usual. My videographer does live a little bit farther, but we kind of make it work because I have family and friends that still live in the DC area, so I'm constantly able to kind of go back and forth, and it just gives me an opportunity to drive the cars a little bit more and see what they're like in terms of highway miles, in terms of commuting, in terms of fuel efficiency or electric range. So obviously a lot of changes in 2020, but you know, 2020 has been such a crazy year for the world that some of these changes, you know, I couldn't really be that surprised that I had to make some of these changes. But the point of the matter is at least I'm still doing good. Redline is killing it right now. The Prime is a really, really fun car, and manufacturers are still launching new cars every like day. So there's plenty of content to film. I'm really excited to hold on to the Rav4 for at least a year. I mean, some of you have already called me on and said, oh, you're just probably going to get rid of this within like a year or two. That could be a possibility, but you know what? I really like this thing, and I was kind of thinking I might consider looking at a Volkswagen ID4 or maybe a Mach-E, but I honestly don't know. There's always so many new things coming out in the industry that it's really hard to say, you know, what you're going to get, because you could have the nicest car right now, but in the next year or two, you know, something better always comes out. That's the problem with working in this industry, is something better always seems to come out. But that's basically some of the changes that I've been going through in 2020. As you guys know, with the coronavirus pandemic, so many things can happen. The world is just kind of in chaos. So I figured, why not just get something that's totally out of my norm? And honestly, the Rav4 Prime, I really fell in love with it when I drove it earlier this summer. And it's a car that I'm super excited to show you guys more videos on, what it's like to drive. I'm going to be doing comparison tests, of course, because this is a truly unique car that goes against a lot of the luxury brands, but at a more mainstream price, because the mainstream brands just don't offer something as unique and as fast and with as much range as this car. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick little update showing you a walk around on my Rav4 Prime. I'm excited to do more videos on it. If you guys have any questions you want to ask, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're also looking to see all the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.